Alright guys, today on this video we have a little problem with the steering wheel. It's loose. I noticed it in the beginning that it was a little bit loose. I didn't know why or what, but I was looking online and they've been saying that on these steering columns they tend to get loose. I guess it has 4 bolts that tend to get loose on them, so I'm hoping that's it. I didn't break anything, because even my lever, it's super loose. It's everything. It's not supposed to be like that. So let me show you. You can see, it actually moves all directions, so this won't be fun to drive it like this. You kind of see a gap right here. I feel it's supposed to be like that, but you can see that gap. It's a fairly large gap. Almost fit a whole finger in there. So I guess we're gonna have to start taking this thing apart. We'll get some sockets and start taking off all the main stuff. But yeah, we need to figure out what's going on here. It was loose before, like you can move it a little bit, maybe like that, but now it just hangs. That's way too much. So see if I can get this fixed today. Alright guys, so you saw me take off the horn cover, and of course the spring that goes behind it, that's what keeps it off. So I loosened up these bolts already. They were actually not that tight, but this one is on there pretty tight, and since it's going to be turning the steering wheel, one contact. Alright guys, this little piece right here, I guess it's pressed in, I'm not sure. I don't remember the last time when I had to change out the turn signal. I replaced the turn signal. Switch. And I thought this was just pressed on there. It's actually pretty stuck. So I'm going to try to maybe hopefully pry it out, or maybe bolt the screws back on. These 3. And maybe use that as leverage. Let's see what happens. this is for the horn. It should slide out. There we go. And this is whenever you press on your horn, this makes contact with the bottom. And then this middle part, or I should say copper, this makes contacts with this, and that goes to your horn. I might have to take out these things. Take out the tilt making handle. This is just being held on by two little bolts. And go right here, one right here, and the other one is right here. Take that piece off. I gotta remove my hazard. Hazard switch, it just has small little flips. Check that out. Next, I'm gonna remove the handle, which is really loose for some reason. Look at that. You can actually see in here in the inside where the handle's just loose. And take off this turn signal lever. And I'm gonna take out the turn signal lever. Alright guys, this part right here was a pain to take it off. It's actually just in there, slid on. So I just kept hitting it on the sides. I did bend this piece a little bit, but I didn't know if it was something else holding it, but because when I did this part the last time, it wasn't that hard to take off, but I guess it does have extra paint in the inside. Maybe that's what's giving it extra grip. But yeah, it just slides right out. Actually goes like that. See? Just the last piece right here is what actually is giving it, but it slides right out. And I took off the handle too, the shift handle. Next, I'm gonna keep going down on this. Took out the other screw. Now we have this out of the way. You can just set that to the side. Put that on this part. To take it out, there's a little, I guess they were like locking pins. They do have threads on them. There's one on each side. There's the other one. And they slide out. Once you take those two out, this piece will actually come off. Alright guys, finally took it out. I put a little bolt in there. It just slides right out. Now it's time to do the other side. Alright guys, I finally removed this from the steering column. I thought I had to remove the pin that holds the tilt clips, but you really don't have to. All you have to do is you put the tilt lever, the handle back in, and pull it back. It will actually release it, and it'll open up these. It opens them up. And then that's what's being held in there. So I ended up I took off the shaft. The reason I wasn't able to take this piece off of it was because it was actually being held by this. So once I remove that, it has another little washer. Once I remove that, this piece just slides off. So the whole reason the tilt is loose is because of this. Let me show you. This piece. This piece right here has these 4 bolts. Out of the 4, only 1 was tight or semi-tight. The rest were completely all loose. But I tried to tighten them up and I couldn't, as none of the holes were lining up. This was actually installed backwards. So it's supposed to go like this, and it was actually flipped. So only 1 hole will line up and the rest weren't. So that's why it was only being held by 1. So that tells me at one point this whole column, somebody took it apart, and you can see how easily somebody could put this in the wrong way. Just basically, if you flip it over, these holes are further apart and these are closer. So I already did that. I ended up flipping it. I put it the right way now, so I made sure that the holes will line up. So once I tighten up this part, I'll reinstall my shaft. It looked like it had grease at one point, but it's pretty much dry. So I'll probably put some grease on here. It's actually, since it's a tilt, so it's actually so that's basically it. If y'all's tilt column is loose, or even if y'all don't have tilt, I believe it's the same, this piece. So that's your problem right there. So I'm gonna start putting everything back together, and we'll see how it comes out. Also, a quick note, there is a washer that it goes behind here, and then there's a clip that actually goes, and it's actually, you can see it goes through here. It's clipped in the bottom too. So that little washer goes there. Make sure you install that back. I was already putting this piece back on there, but I remembered I was like, oh. So make sure you put that one back on too. Next we install the tilt spring with the cap. Well, there you go, guys. Got it finished. It has a little bit of movement, but not like before. Now tilt. Locks. Now it's actually firm. You can actually hear it locking. That's it. Got it done. Time to fix something else.